Hey, this is Karen and Bonnie, and we are relaxing on the beaches of New Mexico. Are there beaches?
That's funny. Yes, that's the border.
Oh, that's where we are, taking a vacation. Now, we're actually working really hard this month trying to get new episodes done and do research and a bunch of other things we'll tell you about in a bit. So we've dug up another one from the vault that we're going to play you this time in just a few minutes.
So talk about the fact that you dug up some more things to pertain to the episode from last week's vault.
So last week we reposted Stop Being Sexy, I think it was called. Mm-hmm. And it was like our second or third one we ever recorded. And
we were so young.
I know. So many less wrinkles. But when I posted it, I always try and find new things to put on our Instagram because our Instagram is the most active of everywhere. And I looked up, I put in modesty. And I usually do like modesty clothing, and it takes you to all the catalogs where people are just a bonnet away from Amish, and they're, like, look at these gorgeous clothes. Look, I'm always in a meadow. Like, they never are having them sit at an important board meeting where everyone really looks good and just then the woman wearing the blanket is sitting there.
Right. I'm in a meadow, not at all at risk for Lyme disease because my body's covered from head to toe. No tick. No tick will get me.
So
she's never in a boardroom.
Yeah, she's never anywhere where she's of any importance. So it sort of like puts submission right into the outfit. Right. But while I'm looking, I found some of the craziest things. And one is like this young tween, probably website that gives all these tips for how you can make sure you're modest. Those are the ones you saw, right?
Yes. Tell the one about your family member looking at your hoo-ha.
Okay. Let me find it on the thing. I don't know where you're jumping in, so I was giving you.
Oh, that didn't give it away enough to you. The one where you sit.
No, I meant like, yeah.
There's one tip for a young girl too. Sit on the ground, crisscross applesauce, and think about if your grandfather was looking at your crotch. And if you're embarrassed by that, then you shouldn't sit like that at church, right?
Why are they bringing grandpa into it?
I mean, honestly, it's a really great test, but
it says sit in front of a mirror doing that.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. And
look up your shorts, basically.
Right. It says if you're in a skirt, sit in a chair with your legs crossed. Now, what do you see in the mirror? Okay, pretend it's your grandpa. I'm like, my God, we just went from modesty to incest quickly. And then there's another one where you put your hands in back of your head like, a Playboy model, but you're a young girl. And if your shirt rises too high, that's too much midriff.
Yeah. Well, okay. I will tell you two things came from a dinner that I had with a friend who is older than I am by 20 years. Ooh. So, yeah. So, these are going to be dated, but funny because I doubt that you've heard this one. Okay. So, let's see. First of all, I was talking to him about the don't be sexy concept. As girls walked by us out at dinner, with all sorts of parts hanging out, which is why I always try to get to dinner before he does, because he will sit where he can watch the entrance. And I'm like, you know what? We're not together, but I don't want people to think we are, and that you're either my dad looking at girls like this or my date looking at someone else.
Yes.
Anyway.
And it would be best if you just didn't look like that.
Right. But he's easily distracted. So he was saying, oh my gosh, yeah, the girls used to do that on the bus to us on purpose. This is the New York City bus when he was a teenager, because that's where he grew up. And the girls with the mini skirts were specifically realizing that he had, he was praying for a cold breeze to come by, he said, because he couldn't get off at his bus stop because they were so arousing.
Oh my God.
with the mini skirts. But I mean, please take note that he didn't say stop. Like, oh, you're a stumbling block to me. I think he just enjoyed it and waited till, whatever stop he could exit the bus.
Stand up. Gross.
So what's the saying that he said? He said, because this all came to be because he explained to me that there used to be, and I know you've heard this saying, that if girls' skirts get any shorter, something about, let me think. If girls' skirts get any shorter, they won't be able to sit down, and the boys won't be able to get up.
I get it.
So he said that's real.
I was 30 before I got that.
Then he taught me one, and I couldn't figure out in what context this was discussed, whether it was between friends or the family, or they were kind of slut-shaming girls or what. But okay, so the international sign for letters of the alphabet for sign language.
Sign language, yes.
Okay, so the first fingers to represent the legs are crossed. The second fingers to represent legs are a little bit more loose. They're just by each other's side, parallel. And then the third is like a V for victory. So you make your fingers first with the cross. So you say, Regina sits like that. Helen sits like this. Mm-hmm. Vicky sits like that and gets this like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait, so do you want to be the Vicky? What if
you sit with your legs like that? Vicky gets a lot of ween.
I just want to know if that's like all those cool things that you just did in junior high that you thought were great, and you do it like over and over again with all your friends,
right?
And think
I think it's like a slut shaming, and you can probably add your friends' names to it.
Oh, so you can slut shame with one hand,
right? Hey, Vicky.
Well, with the Instagram pictures that we posted, when I posted those, we got 44 comments.
That's awesome.
Because it really triggered people, and they were like, what the fuck, and all that. But the one where you raise your hands behind your head to see if your midriff shows is called the raise and praise.
And
why
would you praise a raisin?
And the one where you sit cross-legged is called Grandpa's Mirror.
No!
Just really keep it. They're called Truth or Bear fashion tests. And I was just going to say, one of the things we're doing while we're taking time off, besides sitting in front of Grandpa's mirror, is figuring out how to continue the podcast, because we really love it. We did it for a year, and everything has worked out amazingly and embarrassingly so, except for finances. So we get embarrassed with that, but we're going to try and bite the bullet anyway and offer listeners something different if they want to support us for $5, $10, however many dollars a month. And it's with Patreon. So all you have to do is go to patreon.com/slut patreon.com/deconversion, and you'll find us there, and you'll find all the tiers, and we're offering anything from discounts at the shop, thank you letters, a chance to be on the show,
being shouted out to.
Being shouted at for hours, or giving a shout out of you on the podcast. Plus, I don't know if I told you, Bonnie, but I was looking on there, and there's lots of different places that we can upload pictures and different messages to everyone who's
cool.
Supporting us of stuff they haven't seen, because I just found another picture of you and I when we were little, and we have a bunch of stuff like that.
So if you're curious about this and you feel like giving us the equivalent of a nice cup of coffee at Starbucks, you can go to patreon.com/deconversion. And Patreon, if you're not spelling it in your everyday life, is PATREON. So that'll give you the rundown of how you can be an angel or a Mary or a divine being.
Yeah, different tiers. And, it actually is easier for us to put up like links to things that we talk about that are on YouTube or whatever. So there'll be some, we're just going to call it exclusive content up on there. And we'll still, of course, be doing the same things and interacting with everyone as we usually do on all our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Can I give a tiny movie review right now?
I think that's called for.
Okay. This will be one very quick one. If you feel like you need to have an excuse to take a Xanax, go see the Adam Sandler movie, Uncut Gems.
That's all I hear.
Holy shit. I was so excited to see it, and I could tell objectively that it was a good movie, and he was doing a great job, but I left. I got my ass up, and I just walked out, and I said goodbye to the elderly population who was there, and I don't know how they watched it.
That's what everyone says. Yeah. So I don't get it. Is it just like frenetic camera work?
No.
Or the actual plot that is stressful?
It starts out frantic with his situation, and the score doesn't help. It doesn't stop. The movie doesn't stop making sound ever. And so it's just one thing after another, and it's like a dramatic planes, trains, and automobiles where everything leads to the frustration of the next thing happening. But I literally, I just decided, you know what? This is like being in the worst day of work ever, and I've paid for this. And so I just left.
Yeah.
I don't
hearing how crazy it is.
Yeah. I mean, if that's something you like, and I don't like going to scary movies either. So, that's just my thing, but, good. It was good. And I came home and finished, and I got online and I read the rest of the, synopsis to see what happened.
Right.
Anyhow.
Well, to me, it's like eating hot chicken. Like, there shouldn't be things where you're daring yourself to follow through.
Right.
Like eating, watching a movie. That's just not worth it to me.
Unless you're in it for a bet. The hot chicken thing.
Oh, okay.
Like with significant money.
Who's betting you money
here,
to go watch that Adam Sandler movie?
Well, no, right, exactly. Like I can see somebody saying, "Eat this hot wing, and I'll give you $100." That's different. But
see, it's everywhere here, Nashville hot chicken. So
wow,
people just eat it. Yeah.
Speaking of hot chicken, we're hopefully going to play the Kanye episode after this little intro. And so I just wanted to tell you two things that, let's see. Since the last time we talked about Kanye, it has been put out in the media that his Yeezus album was originally going to be titled Thank God for Drugs, which I think is just an aside that it's funny.
Right. Yeah.
And then you've got to see this thing that they were selling at one of his shows. On the front of the shirt, it's got in airbrush art, in loving memory, and then it's got a picture of his mother who passed away. On the back of the shirt, it says in loving memory, and it's got an airbrushed art caricature of Robert Kardashian, Kim's dad, who passed away. So he sold that at a show, and so I went to see John Mulaney in concert, and he discusses his fondness for his double extra large shirt that he got with Kanye's mom. Donda on the front, Robert Kardashian on the back. And he keeps referring to this scene where he has to wake up in the middle of the night and he's wearing his Donda Robert Kardashian shirt in a double extra large. So I finally remembered that when we were talking about this today. And I will send you a picture of the shirt. By the way.
Because it sounds weird. And yes.
What
do I want to say?
Like a surprising thing that one person would sell and then another person would buy. It also, I mean, I know, I'm sure John probably had it ironically. But you can buy it on Poshmark for $190.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Fucking God.
Did you get it yet?
That's the thing. It's so personal that it doesn't make sense for anyone else to wear it except
that it's
the people going to a reunion, a family reunion.
Right. Except that they are, I guess, family members of famous people.
That's just
Did you
crazy.
Get it yet?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's bad. Let me see it. I forget. Now, every time I look at Robert Kardashian, I, of course, think of Ross from Friends, who played him in the O.J. Simpson TV show, which was great. So, wow.
I just like thinking of skinny John Mulaney wearing that shirt. And that makes me happy.
And being all tangled up in it. And,
So this is just, if anybody knows what this reference is, this will give you a clue to what one of our next episodes is about. Moses put down his dick. That's the teaser.
Well, I don't even know what it is then.
Good. Goodbye. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/deconversion. They've got over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Welcome back to another edition of Deconversion Therapy.
What are you trying out there?
I don't know. Seeing if we can play to the NPR crowd and get picked up. This is Karen.
This is Bonnie.
It is. You sound like you're trying to convince me.
Hello.
No, now you're copying, trying to get on.
Viewers.
That NPR contract I'm going to be signing.
Hello. We're here this week talking to Karen.
Shweddy balls. If you don't know that, you need to watch.
This is Stale Air. I'm Bonnie.
So Bonnie and I have known each other since we were 1 year old. We went all through evangelical school, church, groups, this, that, everything. and I became a missionary, and she didn't. She wasn't as good of a Christian. So then we have both deconverted, and this is a podcast that goes into our fun memories and now other people's, because they write into us. And we always hit up a topic every week. So if you're listening, please subscribe. It's that little button. You know what it is. If you're listening, I forget that people can now listen to us on YouTube. We have no...
What's the visual of that?
Oh, did I not tell you?
No.
I got all our childhood pictures. No, it's just like this screen of whatever our podcast platform thing puts out there. It's nothing. But people listen on there, and we keep having people follow us. So I don't know.
Cool. Well, shouldn't we have better visual? Like at least like one of those things that they put up on the wall in a club, where if you're a little,
it looks like a club wall. It's
where it's just designs going in and out.
That's it. It's close.
Isn't that what a Wonderwall is? Like when you're taking drugs and there's supposed to be a wall where you just like stare and wonder.
Oh, I never knew what it was.
That's great. I think the Gallagher boys did.
I thought it was something in space.
Really?
Okay. I don't know. All right. So you can
like a plane that
like a
like a window
thing.
that goes through space, like the three guys in Superman were trapped in.
I guess, or black holes, and in the hole there's a wall. I don't know.
I think you're thinking of Superman, but that's
maybe.
Okay. I'll pull that graphic up. Zod.
So you can listen on YouTube, but if you're also listening on that or on our website, you can still go to iTunes. I don't really know how, but you can, and subscribe. Subscribing helps us the most. And the next is to rate us. You can only do 5 stars, for we'll put a virus in your phone or computer. And then you can
but 2 is fine.
You can always write our email too. Like someone just wrote an email to us because talking about bathroom walls, she took a picture of all this crazy writing on a bathroom wall that's like, Jesus is coming soon, but someone wrote, but not yet. And then someone wrote, this whole thing of the Christian church is the Illuminati and all this stuff. So she sent it to me. She's like, I thought you'd appreciate this. So you can write us.
What restaurant or venue is this bathroom in, though? Is it at church?
No.
Okay.
I think it's just a restaurant one. I don't know. I guess I have to reply now. Thanks. Let me write that down on my to-do list.
Thanks a lot.
No, but she and I had been DMing on Instagram because we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're recording this on Sunday, and we just did a big, long thread of all the ridiculous Christian album covers from years gone past that are very creepy, and I'm sure a lot of people are in jail and whatnot.
Do we think they're real?
So most of them are real. And then there are some, I got them all from the same sites that do this kind of collection of album covers. But some people are like, I don't think this one's real and this one. So I could look it up and be like, nope, that one's not. And then that one is. And that's when I respond, I am just a vessel.
I'm just a vessel. Because so many people apparently decided to name their albums, He Touched Me.
Yeah, which is a great song. He touched me. Oh, he touched me. All right. So you can write in and all that.
Oh, and we have a fun Facebook group.
That we're doing special at the end.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. my email. No.
So should we just blast right into what I was so excited to talk about? Oh, no. Yeah. So, well, I'm not excited about that, but I couldn't figure out what the name of that movie was last episode. And apparently it's with 6 you get egg roll.
And so what we're talking about is the Quiverful episode where people were having a bunch of babies. Well, they still currently are. And yeah, you were mentioning some, and some guy on Instagram said the movie you're thinking of, but he named a different one too.
The Steve Martin one. Yeah.
No, he named yet a different one. I think the old movies where people have a lot of babies was just hilarious, I guess. So there were a lot of them.
Babies! Well, the movie with 6 you get egg roll had Doris Day and Brian Keith. Brian Keith, who was in my one of my top 5 movies of all time, The Parent Trap.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's sort of babies, too.
Yeah, babies that get separated by their shithead parents.
So, what was he, Lindsay Lohan's father?
Yes, in the original.
Ah, good times.
Yeah. I will cry at least 3 different places in The Parent Trap, and it doesn't matter which version it is. I think they're both great. I love that movie so much.
Well, that's original to you.
Okay.
No, I liked it.
Speaking of Sunday nights, remember when we were kids, Sunday night, if you weren't at church, it meant the wonderful world of Disney. Yes. And they would show a movie or, some kind of a travelogue garbage about Disney World. And the monorail.
Yeah, and remember what was before that?
Hee-haw.
Oh, God. See, I was going to challenge that, but I know that you're better than I am at that. Okay, do you remember what was before that?
The Muppets?
Damn it. Okay, no. So sometime on some channel on some evening, there was Mutual of Omaha.
Wild Kingdom.
So the weird
that was
thing
Sunday. You're right.
That you just mentioned that because on Facebook, a friend of mine, supposedly Jack Hanna is right around my area right as we're speaking because her kid has a little picture with Jack Hanna.
Oh my gosh. He was always the funniest thing on Dave Letterman.
Yeah.
They just had the best dynamic.
And now they've replaced him with the, well, now we just sound like old women. They've got that Steve Irwin kid.
The kid. Yeah.
I know.
That kid has a lot of energy.
They all do. They're all coked up.
Don't say that about a child.
I know. I meant Coca-Cola. So in the news recently, there is an impeachment declaration where Pelosi stood outside and said, I declare impeachment. And you know what that's from, right?
No. The news.
No, the joke. It's from The Office when he was going to declare bankruptcy and he didn't know how.
No, I forgot about that. Just to go out and declare it.
Declare. So that's going on. There's the cute, adorable Swiss girl Greta with the climate strike. I mean, shit's hitting the fan everywhere. And in the middle of this, we have today's topic of Kanye starting his own church.
Well, it's called the Sunday Service.
Which every Sunday service is called. But okay, I'm going to try and be nice.
Well, that's what he's branding it, or I guess that's just what it's called. And I think he sells T-shirts with that on there. but I'm not certain because there's just too much to unpack in the world of Kanye and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Them being the whole Kardashian clan. And so here I'll give you the bit of the rundown, hopefully in a little bit of a chronological order. Kanye does these gatherings out in Los Angeles, out in Calabasas, and God knows where else. And they're called Sunday service. So pretty much according to Kim Kardashian West, it is a musical Christian worship service, which, as you and I have discussed, without a sermon, this whole Sunday service of Kanye is just my worst nightmare. It's only the musical portion of worshiping God.
But it's
People
would be,
love it.
yes,
Normal people love it. I get it.
Would like it, and this music is so much better.
Well, sure.
Of course.
I know.
It isn't like our Southern Baptists where we sang out of a hymnal, always doing verses 1, 2, and 4, and always skipping 3. And then if something else is going on, the youth minister does the thing like he's winding up something with his finger to be like, and do that verse again, because we're waiting for someone to walk up the aisle or something like that.
Well, that was just it was just a waste of time in my personal journey. Anytime there are people gathered and we're singing and it's not, a professional singing a song that he made popular on the radio, I'm not down for it. So anyway, Kanye started this nightmare service. That's not true. People love it. So he started remember when he had the episode where it landed him in the hospital and he had been on stage and ranting about stuff, and then he canceled his concert and he was in the hospital?
Yeah, it was his tour. So not an episode of the Kardashians, but like a mental episode. Yes.
Yeah. So do you know what that was about? And don't look at my notes.
I think I saw some of it when I was doing my very thorough research.
Oh, right.
But
okay.
You tell me.
Well, I will tell you. Apparently, he was on opioids.
Yes.
And he said he was like drugged the fuck out after having liposuction.
Where? On what? Who? And the weirder thing is,
to try to look good for y'all.
Okay. See, that's already, you need to be in a hospital to talk this through, because his mother died having plastic surgery.
That's what it said.
So why would you then be, cosmetic surgery? I'm sorry. Why would you then be like, I'm going to do this stuff too? Yeah, that's messed up.
I know. And then part of it, he said, I got liposuction because I didn't want y'all to call me fat like y'all called Rob Kardashian at my wedding and made him fly home before me and Kim got married. Like,
oh my God.
I know, but maybe he could just eat less.
Well, okay, here come the letters, because
well, no, I mean, I don't know.
I think
there's like he had a problem spot on him that he needed to have liposucked.
I've liposucked. I think my issue is that he's so into what people think and how it affects them, because I saw an interview, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. That's what worries me. Like
or he used to be, at least.
Yes, there's like some mental stuff going on there that is extreme. Because like you said, that's an extreme measure for something, and something risky and all that. But I mean, I'm not, believe me, if a liposuction doctor comes into the closet I'm recording in right now and it's like free lipo, you're just going to hear machines suddenly going.
Machines.
Okay.
Just one machine. So it said that the doctors had prescribed opioids at the beginning, and then he was given 2 pills a day, but was soon up to 7.
Mm-hmm. Who's refilling that for him? What's that doctor's name?
Well, and then he says that there was talk amongst his camp, like, Yee's popping pills. Yee is what he calls himself because his album was called Yeezus, and I guess it's supposed to sound like Jesus. Adding that his dealer, that's illegal, I know, told him, this is used to kill genius, right? And he said with that warning, he was scared straight and stopped taking them. So 2 days later, he was in the hospital.
And again, that's sort of a weird egomaniacal response. I am a genius, therefore I better quit.
Well, inspiration. It does kill inspiration.
Yeah. I mean, I think kills people. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that too. So let's see. So he had those rants. And so Kim said that he really started the Sunday service, to start healing himself. And it was a very personal thing. And it was just friends and family. And he has had an amazing evolution of being born again and saved by Christ. This was when she was talking on The View. And that was recently, by the way. She was also talking about having tests done for some medical things that she's waiting on an official diagnosis about.
About her?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think she's gotten false positives for... Well, this doesn't have anything to do with Jesus, but she's got false positives for rheumatoid arthritis and lupus.
Oh, I got the rheumatoid false positive myself. And it was bad. Really? Yes, for like 2 weeks. It was false? Huh?
It was false?
Yes.
You never told me it was false. You did not. You even told me you were upset because it meant a shortened lifespan.
It does, but
oh my God.
Not for me. Sorry.
Oh my God. You gotta let people off the hook.
Is that the only reason you're doing the podcast?
Oh my God.
Like, this is all she has in her shortened life.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, when Caroline Wozniacki plays and she talks about how much pain she's in, I was like, oh, that's got to be what happens with Karen too.
No, I only told like 4 people, and then I told all the 4 people I didn't have it, and you were that...
I was not on that short list. All right, fine.
Okay, maybe I have it. Whatever keeps you happy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, okay. I don't have it.
Fantastic news.
Whoops. I still have fibromyalgia. Does that count? And I got bitten by a mosquito today.
Is that something you have to be especially careful of with fibromyalgia?
No, I'm just adding it to my ailments to try and bring it to the level of rheumatoid arthritis for you.
So with all of this Kanye West stuff coming out, he's got a new album coming out called Jesus is King. And it was supposed to drop, that's talk, that's lingo. It was supposed to drop on Friday, but then they put forward like an impromptu concert that was free in Detroit. And it was a listening party, but they called it a Kanye West experience.
Right.
Which I love because that's always the shittiest of movies because it means...
That's like a 3D, like pay extra money for just to feel like you want to vomit and not enjoy.
Yeah. It's like the experience means they're not there, but he was there. So I like that. So they have this free event, and this is what I love. they gave away merch. They gave away merchandise just if people in the crowd were doing like nice things for one another or were kind to another person. They didn't sell it. They gave it away.
Okay.
I think that's neat.
Oh,
I don't think you have to be filled with Jesus to do something nice like that.
Of course not. And I think it's super nice.
Well, I also am. P.S. They should give it away because it's really expensive. So it's really cool to get something that's, that much money to actually purchase.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. Oh, the other thing is I wanted to just put a plug in here for the Starbucks. For the Starbucks promotion that I always wanted them to do. If you go into Starbucks on any given day and you just stand there in the line listening to how people do their orders.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, give me a tall Floggy-Flugen over ice. It's always gimme or I'll have a, and nobody ever says, could I please have fill in the blank?
You need to move up here. Everyone says, if it's not too much bother to
Really?
someone who's actually, it's their job. Yeah.
Well, I think that Starbucks should have one day where if you say please when you order your coffee, you get it free. And nobody tells them why they got it free, but they have to figure it out amongst themselves. And then the word will start spreading virally.
Like these concerts.
Yeah. By the way, you'll be excited. So when they were doing these Sunday services, Brad Pitt went to one.
I know. So we need to talk about this.
Okay. Brad Pitt.
So they started in doing these in January, and there's this whole idea that is Kanye doing this for publicity? Is this sort of melding into how he's going to release his album and this all goes together? Where is the line drawn? And for almost all of these, except maybe that Detroit one, they're all invitation only. So it isn't just everyone who gets to come. You're invited. So Katy Perry's been, David Letterman, which it makes me think.
And he loved it.
Yeah. And it makes me think he was doing an interview for his show or something. But who knows? So it's still closed and only by invitation, which makes it feel like a publicity situation.
Right, like it started off the glitterati.
Yeah, because they said they have to sign non-disclosures to go to the service.
Oh, and when they did this Sunday service thing in Detroit where they had the listening party or something like that, everybody had to put their phones in pouches and not have them.
Right. Which is weird because I watched some of the YouTubes of his other Sunday services and all it is phones pointing at the thing.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. So
which is not very present of these people.
It's very not so. So, okay, did you know this part? Okay, let's go with Brad. And then once we're done with Brad, I will ask you something.
All right.
Oh, my rheumatoid.
Brad. Oh, my God. I'm having flashbacks. Go ahead.
No, go ahead about Brad.
No.
Is that it?
No.
That he went?
That's all I had.
Oh, all right. Okay, so this is from the New Yorker. I'm going to read it, and hopefully they don't sue. But they were talking about this, and they said that there's a suspicion that Kanye's been, not only doing these, but he's showing up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians more because he's borrowing the idea from his wife's family and starting a church. So churches these days as we know, are glossy and money-making things like Hillsong, which we've also discussed, because they have like a celebrity pack service. And this is my favorite part, that Hillsong's pastor, Carl Lentz, baptized Justin Bieber in an NBA player's bathtub because, of course,
it was really deep because he's tall.
They turned on the jacuzzi thing. But, why does it have to be someone famous and someone famous? But anyway.
Because the other people just don't understand what it's like to have that much fame.
I guess not.
And they act weird and they're glom-oners.
I'm a glom-oner. Who do I got glom on? I guess this pastor is who I need a glom on because he makes $100 million, mostly tax-exempt dollars per year. So, I didn't know this. In 2009, Kris Jenner, so that's the mother of Kim, she co-founded California Community Church, which operates mostly out of a Sheraton hotel and Agoura Hills. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the church has a pastor named Brad Johnson who had resigned previously because he had had an affair. And Kris Jenner tracked this guy down at his current job at the time at full circle.
No.
A Starbucks.
Oh.
And she persuaded him to be the pastor of her new church. And he ended up being the person who married Khloe Kardashian with Lamar Odom back when they got married. And so supposedly the church has already had some tax trouble, but... And they've already asked congregants to pledge either $1,000 per month.
Per month?
Yep. Or just the typical 10% of their income. I have a feeling that's whichever is the most because I don't think it's whatever's the least. And so in some of these interviews, let me see.
I don't watch this show all the time, but have they talked about this church on the show?
I don't know. I don't watch the show, but I know that when I think Kim Kardashian was being interviewed on Piers Morgan, he said something about, do you do that every year? And she said, yeah, I absolutely do. And then in 2013, she said she sent the church almost $50,000. So that adds to this level of their family has already started a church and has already been very involved in its beginnings and the financial end of it. So it's really strange. And I don't know. Everyone knows that Kanye's a little off, and I'm worried. I know he's getting a lot of criticism from Christians who are like, okay, are people going to these things because of Jesus or because of Kanye?
And life is not in a vacuum. So that's why you go to Revival to see Sandy Patty.
Oh, Sandy Patty. Yeah, exactly.
Or Amy Grant, whatever. We didn't have her to Revival. I was just using somebody.
No, but we did have Blair from Facts of Life one year. Lisa Welchel.
First of all, I guess it could be a ploy, but I don't think so. They had a baby in the beginning of this year, 2019, and they named him Psalm, Psalm.
I know. I think
it's a good name. I don't think you'd do that for a stunt to drop an album.
Oh, no,
unless you like that name and think, well, why can't we do two things at once?
No, I think it's a soupy mix. Because, I think his brain might be a soupy mix. So my only thing my number one reason I think that this isn't good is because of him. Like, I don't think it's good for him.
Okay, so here's what I don't know if you know is that I think it might be just 2 days ago. Where did I read it? He said that he was only going to record gospel music from now on. No more secular music.
What?
Yep.
So I think, yeah, it's like this, when people, especially the teenagers in youth group, if they're newly saved, they're like so, fervent
they're
and
jazzed.
zealous. Oh, yeah. They're always bringing their Bibles with them everywhere. They've got to let everyone see it. They've got to say, praise the Lord louder than is necessary. And so I think he's really in this stage, which is usually done in a quieter.
If you're a quieter person.
Right. But I mean, he's mixing it with celebrity and stage. And I mean, they're flying that whole choir that does all the songs every week to a different place. Like, this is costing millions of dollars. So,
but they have them.
They do. But it's all congealed and mixed up together rather than him like.
So you've used 2 food references, one soupy
soup
and one like a gelatin.
I have not had dinner.
Congealed. Oh, nice. But okay, so if he changes the kind of music that he releases, is he going to be talking about fucking you over a sink like he did in the song that I actually like, Bound? And is he going to be using the N-word? What? I'm going to bless you over a sink.
Yes.
And the N-word and, is that all going to go away? And are people going to be upset about that? Like, oh, damn, now he doesn't talk about.
I know. Well, who else did this? Not Ozzy Osbourne. The other person. Was it not
the other person?
Not Iggy Pop.
Certainly not Slash.
No, the one with the eyeliner.
And not Robbie Williams. I'll just name my favorites. Who, even if Robbie or Slash had a church worship service that was only music, I would not go.
Oh, that's
I'm going to need a message from Russell Brand. Then I will attend. Wait, but who with the eyeliner?
Think of Russell Brand, really old and skinny. Oh, Alice Cooper. Okay.
Oh.
So Alice Cooper became a Christian, and it was a phase, as did Bob Dylan, and he only recorded Christian stuff for a while. So, like, it could be his zealot phase, but he has bipolar now, right? Or
Kanye?
Yes.
Is that official?
It's official. And he says it in the articles I read. He's been diagnosed with bipolar, and it makes me just go, I don't think this is good for his mental health to be mixing all this up so quickly and so intensely. Not to mention, like, I was listening to all these Christians talking about how, a lot of them aren't into it because, again, are they going because of God or because of Kanye?
Yeah, well, I was reading that article from the New York Post, and I really got bummed with the way that they quoted, let's see. Oh, here, I like this. Okay, this is from the New York Post article. Kalina, 68, says her faith is constantly mocked, quote, because of the strange and weird behavior of people like this man. Like, really? I mean, it's mocked for a lot of other reasons having to do with hypocrisy. But it's not just, and I like that the strange and weird behavior of him.
Right.
I don't know that she's knowing his strange and weird behavior as much as his, awful sexist lyrics that are a little naughty.
Right. And some people are saying, is he just trying to revive his, how people see him? So I went and I clicked on something online, and it was how he's going to say he's a Christian on some talk show, and the talk show's name is Chris. And I'm like, I don't watch daytime. I don't know what show this is. I'll watch it. And of course it's Kris Jenner, because I'm so out of daytime television. I didn't even know.
Kris Jenner has a daytime talk show?
Yeah. I don't understand daytime TV in general.
Okay.
I watch Ellen clips at night if David Spade's been on there, and that's it. I don't know what's happening during the day.
I know if I'm watching daytime talk shows, it means I'm either really, really sick. But I do like the targeted advertisement sometimes, like clearly the unemployed. Do you want to drive the big rigs?
I do.
Do
you take people with rheumatoid? But the idea that he was on there, and their whole conversation was so nice, and he seemed so sweet. And she's talking about how funny he is, and they were talking
Kanye?
about Sunday services. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I really liked him, and he sounds really nice. And he also sounds uber sensitive. So where he talks about the paparazzi and how people have judged him, and how everything went to shit after he did that thing to Taylor Swift at the Grammys, where he took her award away.
She didn't deserve it. like Beyonce should have gotten this.
Oh my God. And did you know Taylor Swift has a framed picture of that incident on her wall with a caption, "Interruptions happen"? But the thing where he's like, he hasn't been able to redeem himself in the eyes of the public. And he's sort of going on about that no one's giving him a break and all that. So I'm sure this is his rock bottom. And so he's found Jesus in this sort of setting. And, his mom died. I'm sure he's gone through a lot.
Yeah. And you know what else, though, is it's so easy to say, well, I don't see how he could be at rock bottom when he's making $150 million a year,
now
almost, almost twice as much as Jay-Z. But that's the thing, is the money doesn't matter.
Well,
what's in your,
it matters to us, but not to.
But it's not going to buy you happiness,
right? Yeah.
Anybody, if that guy can't have happiness, then with the exposure and the freedom to do whatever art he wants to do, and the money and a family.
He is a genius, and he's married to Kim Kardashian. Like all the different things that people would say.
Oh, if only I was.
That's the ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this is, something emotional in him that he feels is really true, and he feels is a good thing. But I think it's a recipe for disaster, and for him mentally.
Well, I'm going to go with counterpoint of it is better than being a shitty rapper.
He's a great rapper.
No, I don't mean that, but a shithead rapper.
Oh, yeah. A shithead person who raps. Yes, I get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's talking about killing people and, and drug deals and how you've scored and all the other ways that I can say it like a white lady. Horrible.
I liked the one.
Edit that out. To
the
score.
One that went something like, "Did you know that she is a gold digger?"
I love that song.
I know. But I don't know. I'm negative on these things that commercialize and monetize religion and suck people in who I think religion's a danger in many ways. So
I
don't know.
Ultimately, people have the choice of, they don't have to give $1,000 a month.
So we'll just all watch and see what happens. And, if and I know he gives a lot to charity, so I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying that he is a troubled, talented person that I feel like we're watching.
I know.
A car wreck going on.
And I don't want anybody to implode.
No.
I know.
So, good luck, Kanye.
Here's what I really hate, though, is the people on Twitter who have a Christian background, trashing him for it.
And YouTube. I saw a lot on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're fine taking Donald Trump in his word that he's of that evangelical.
Oh, exactly.
Group.
Yeah.
But so you don't get to say it's okay when Trump does it if it's not okay when Kanye does it.
And there's this whole added thing that you just brought up of Kanye endorsing Donald Trump, which has really made the African-American community be like, what is he talking about? Plus he said stupid things about slavery. But is it like, oh, now I'm like, does he like Donald Trump because he's this evangelical Christian? He's trying to, or is he just contrary? And is he just a little wacky in the head and unstable?
Or is it like I was saying to you the other day, like anything we say in Jesus' name, we get a pass on?
Yeah.
Not you and me.
Obviously. Yeah.
Well, I will say I like the song Golddigger and Bound too. And I especially
like Jesus Walks. I like a lot of his stuff, but
at the end of the song Bound 2, he says Jesus wept. Did you know that?
I did not.
And if you recall, I think it was maybe all of a week after the video was released. This is the one where Kim is looking beautiful and her hair is blowing, but not in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And she's sitting facing him on a motorcycle riding across like the Wyoming prairies or something like that.
Right.
Like a week after that was released, it was very stylized. James Franco and Seth Rogen remade it shot for shot.
So as we finish this out, I just returned from staying with my father for a few days. And I really appreciated it was calm and quiet in that all the lights are off all the time. And it's 80 degrees in there.
Does he not use the AC?
Oh, he gets very cold. And so he's like, are you too hot? And, I just say no, because he says his bones ache. So I'm like, okay.
I just say no.
I don't know. And then, so we watched a football game. And it's been... And he does not put the volume on.
On football?
No. He cannot stand the talk, all that talking.
The color commentary?
So he just has the closed caption on, which sort of covers up the ball. And we watch that. And then there's... on the lamp up on the ceiling, it's a bare bulb, because I don't know what happened or if he took off.
What do you mean? Like there's no fixture making it
I think he took that off probably because he's probably like, it always gets sturdy. Oh, it looks fine with it off. So there's a bare bulb. It's dark outside, dark in the room, and he's got a visor. Because he says the light bulb.
So it's not a hat, it's a visor.
It's just a visor.
It has to be. It's 80 degrees in there. His head would get hot.
I know. And he has a scarf around his neck because his neck was still cold.
Oh my gosh, lucky him.
Oh my God. I know, exactly.
I know I always feel lucky for people who are always cold because they can put more clothes on.
So then I don't have a car, so I take his car to the grocery store. And first, there's this big lumbar pillow that I have to move. And then he also doesn't keep his registration in his car because he read in Prevention Magazine that's not good or something. So I put that in my purse and I drive his car.
The car gets stolen.
That's it.
Yeah.
And in his garage, it's going to get stolen out of his garage. So I go and when I return, well, first of all, I'm going and I have a Christian bumper sticker in the car and on the car. So that was fun.
Okay.
And then when I return, I pull into the garage and I have to do it slowly because he has a tennis ball hanging from a rope that once I pull up far enough that the windshield hits it, I know when to stop. But he also has a little ball on the antenna too. So I found it easily.
So you can find the car in the parking lot?
Yep.
There's an antenna on his car?
Yeah, it's like a short one in the back. I know.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like a diagonal. Yeah. Weird.
Right. At least you can get out of the car because you don't have rheumatoid arthritis.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
I know. Well, that's it for this week. We forgot to mention that we have a shop and we have different people buying some cute shirts. We have Don't Be a Shit Pile, like subtle shirt. Then we have one for fall, which is got like fall leaves and looks real cute. And you see the writing and you don't know that it's going to be so shit piling.
Yeah. And if you scratch and sniff it, it smells like pumpkin spice.
Sure it does. I hate
Karen doesn't like the pumpkin spice season.
Disgusting. So nasty.
You're just nuts to hate something that brings people so much joy.
And if I mention it, it's going to show up now on all my ads and everything. So I'm horrified.
If you mention it, do you have? The Alexis thing? Alexa?
Well, it's everything's listening, Bonnie. Everything.
All right. They are. Everything is listening. I clicked on one jewelry ad on Instagram, and now I'm just being pelted with jewelry ads, which is actually really enjoyable.
I know. It's not bad. But thank you for listening, and write into us anytime at Deconversion Therapy podcast.com. And we're also, I lied. That's our website. And then Deconversion Therapy podcast at Gmail is our email.
Yep. Send stories and letters.
Send us some true funny stories of, I want to hear Christian concerts. I want to hear just anything that'll make me laugh. I'm ready for it.
I want to hear about people going home and how they deal with their parents who are still trying to shove Jesus down their throats.
Yes. Well, sometimes they just try and make them sweat it out so they weaken. All right, that's it. See you guys next time.
Have a good week.
Don't be a shit pile.